Hi everybody, it's getting that time of year again, hunting season, everybody's getting excited, and especially as bow hunters, we're going through trying to determine what broadhead we're going to use this year. And I wanted to go over a few things with SWAT A4 Broadhead I designed about a year and a half ago and released last July. We had a lot of really good success last year, and I think there's a few claims that have been made about penetration and cost. And I wanted to kind of go over the whole idea behind the SWAT A4. So let's take a look at the head. As you can see here, the SWAT A4 has 2 fixed blades and 4 mechanical blades. The 2 fixed blades are actually 440C stainless steel. So it's chisel point strength, and they're on a different axis than mechanical blades. So you're actually cutting on 4 axes with 8 cutting edges. Now, when the broadhead flies, it flies closed, as you saw it before. When it hits, it opens up and cuts a 2-inch hole. We have plenty of data on our Facebook and testimony proving everything that I'm claiming today. As you see, it cuts a 2-inch hole, and as it enters, we get really good penetration because the wing doesn't have all the surface area in here. The wing is just, the blade is just strong enough to where it can handle the stress of rib cage or shoulder. It's been tested through OSB at 190 foot-pounds at 450 feet per second. So we have plenty of proven testimony showing how strong these front blades are. But we continue to get the good penetration because we don't have all that friction force on the back of the blades slowing down the penetration. Also, when you got 2 blades that are on a different axis and they're cross section like this, we call it the X-out tip, it clears a path for the ferrule, so the ferrule has no drag on it as it's going through hide and flesh and rib cage and into the chest cavity. Now after the broadhead enters the chest cavity, the secondary blades open and it cuts another 1.75 inch. So you're actually cutting in 2 directions, and then on top of that you're cutting in another 2 directions with your fixed blade. This blade is 380 thousandths wide and this one's 300 thousandths wide. You got a 2-inch cut here and you got a secondary cut that's 1.75, and there is no stress or force on these blades until it gets into the chest cavity. So there's no loss of kinetic energy on these blades until it's actually cutting heart and lungs. It's not cutting hide, it's not cutting through rib cage. So we're still getting great penetration. I've never not passed through an animal, and we have a lot of claims on large boars and African animals. We're getting solid pass-throughs. Why did I design the head this way? About 3 years ago I was hunting, and I had a 180-inch deer in Illinois come out, and I shot it for 42 yards, and he was 44. When the arrow hit, it looked absolutely perfect. I watched the deer go about 30 yards and stand there for 30 minutes. I had 12 power binoculars, I could see the entry hole, and it was a perfect slice right at heart level. After about 30 minutes, the deer walked off and I never saw the animal again. Had really good blood where it was standing. It got thin and he was gone. I have a name for that. I call it the parallel wound. So if you're shooting a 2-blade broadhead and it goes in and it cuts a 2-bladed hole, and this is your heart, and that's all you're getting is brisket. Now I'm off a 1/2 inch and I've just lost the deer of my life. If I would have had this action, I would have eliminated the parallel wound. And it doesn't matter if it's heart, if it's a long area and you hit back and you would only get liver if it goes in vertical. So broadhead goes in vertical, and now you're just getting liver and missing the lungs. Or you're going through the guts and you just missed the liver. You could have gotten the liver. Or you go a little high just above the lungs and you could have got spine if you'd have had this blade. So I designed this head to eliminate the pain and suffering of losing the animal of your dreams. We work so hard all year. We take 3 weeks out of the year to hunt, and we haven't shot our bows in days. It's freezing cold. We're racing with adrenaline. The buck of our lives is coming out. We make a minor mistake and we lose that animal, all because we didn't have enough cutting edges. Now, if I was building a 2-blade broadhead, I could build that head, cut a slot in it, throw 2 blades in it, and manufacture that head for next to nothing. It cost me 5 times as much to manufacture a head with this many cutting edges. First of all, the aluminum is made of 70-75. I got tired of shooting one animal and my broadhead bending. I've shot this through OSB, I've shot it in the Trex deck. I'm not saying it won't bend, I'm saying it takes a lot to bend it. The other thing that bothered me is I would buy a dozen broadheads, and out of the dozen, 3 of them I would think would be straight enough to hunt. I guarantee these are straight. If they're not straight, send them back and I'll replace them. So you get the added strength of the 70-75, you get the 440 stainless steel, 440C tip, and then you get the flexible 440 stainless steel mechanical blades. Also on top of that, in order to rotate this part, cut all the slots in it and make it to where these front blades lock. They don't float, right? So they hold their position as long as there's a forward force on it. As soon as there's no forward force, they release, right, and kick forward just beyond parallel, or they'll just close. See, they're free floating until they have force on. In order to make all these cuts to fit these blades in this radius, it takes time. And time is money when it comes to cutting a part. And when you're cutting a part of 70-75 aluminum that's twice as strong and 3 times as expensive, it takes longer machine and run time. So the other thing I wanted to talk about is the band. This is a non-latex wide flat strap. You can see it right here. It's very durable. It's strong. It's been tested at 450 feet per second. Holds the blades perfect in flight. I'm trying to get away from the claim that it's another rubber band broadhead, because rubber banded broadheads hold the blades shut, and in order for them to release, the blades have to move. Well, same here, but actually the cutting action frees up this band, and once that band is free and cut, these blades are all free to open. And the broadhead is free to do whatever it's supposed to do. 2-blade entry, secondary blade open in the chest cavity, 2-blade entry, 4-blade exit. Where broadheads nowadays, they either have a plastic clip that retains the blades, so it has the force of the clip to release them, or it has metal clips that hold all the blades shut, so each blade has its own force. And we're talking about kinetic energy. You can calculate how much pounds it takes to open up a clipped, either plastic or metal broadhead, and it's extreme. You'd be amazed if you ran the numbers. This broadhead, all it has to do is cut through that band and it's free. And the nice thing about it is too, is you still get elastic action. So if you hit a limb or something like that, it's not going to just free the blades up. It actually has to impact your target to cut right through that band. And that's the other reason we're getting the penetration that we do. We don't have all that force of the plastic clips. Now, a lot of these tests I talk about, it was independently tested on Twang and Bang. So if you go to Twang and Bang on YouTube, you can see the test he did. He shot it out of a gun at 450 feet per second. Isn't the way I would test it. I've never tested it like that. I don't recommend testing it like that. But if you like to hunt with a Benjamin airbow, it tested very well. It hit point on. It also hit point on at 325 in his tests. I've shot it out to 100 yards and it hits point on. This is one of the most accurate broadheads I've ever shot, and the reason is I designed it like a bullet. So it doesn't look like a pitchfork. It's shaped parabolic, just like any target point or field tip. I shot 20 years professional archery for one of the top manufacturers. Travel all over the country. And I'm a firm believer in hitting where I'm aiming. And that's why I guarantee straightness, because if they're not straight, they're not going to hit. And I shaped them like a point should be shaped, parabolic. One of the other things he shows you on Twang and Bang is how to put the band on. It's not very hard. He does it with a little paper clip, and it's actually probably the best way to do it. I don't have my glasses on. I'm going to try and do it without any glasses. You just put it on one arm, and then you stretch it over the tip blades, and you bring it around, and you put it around the other blades. And there it is, it's banded. Now I'd go ahead and flatten it out like the other one was and clean it up. This is the most devastating broadhead I've ever shot. Shooting animals with this head is fun. It's exciting. It's like nothing you've ever seen. I'm talking 5.5, 6.5, 7.5-year-old bucks running around a circle and falling over. I got tired of tracking. I built this head so we could all be successful, so we'd all be more successful in the woods. And I hope you try the SWAT A4. We're a veteran-owned company. All our employees are veterans, and we stand by our products. Thank you.